Howdy, howdy. Welcome on in to the pre-show before the free show.
Hello.
Is that Iceland behind you?
It is Iceland behind me. Sorry, I was working on a graphic for the show.
Actually, maybe that's Greenland because it's all icy. Iceland is also icy.
What are you talking? That is North Carolina. Hello, everybody. Welcome into the pre-show for the free show.
It's Corpus Christi.
It's Corpus Christi. Yeah, wow. Wow, I gotta be honest. That's embarrassing that you don't know that. I mean, you're the host of a Texas football podcast, and you don't know that.
And you can't tell that is clearly Alpine.
Exactly right. That's.
I have never seen a more Lubbock-looking picture.
You think you'd know San Angelo when you see it. Anyway, welcome into the pre-show for the free show. Pickle's dying. I haven't seen you in since Wednesday.
It's been great.
I haven't seen you since Wednesday. So this is your Thanksgiving post-game show here on Texas Football Today. Once again, I'm happy to report Thanksgiving still the best day of the year. I don't know how you come to any other conclusion. Best day of the year. Watch the parade. Couple of freak out moments for the kids. Paw Patrol and what was the other one? There's another balloon, like another giant balloon. It was a freak out moment.
Over NASA Snoopy every year.
Santa at the end. We flipped over to football, which Hank was not happy about. Mm-hmm. But then I said, "Don't worry, I know when Santa comes. He comes around noon." And so we flipped over about 11:50. He got to see Santa. It's a big deal. Big deal. We had an outstanding Thanksgiving. Everything was great, and including the little specialty items I picked up from our Cajun turkey company.
Cajun crawfish queso.
The crawfish queso, exceptional, and
do they serve that year round?
Yes.
Okay.
And the other thing they had was like bourbon corn, like cream corn casserole. And let me tell you, that is on the list every year now.
All right.
Holy cow, it was really good.
See, and I wonder because like our William Wilkerson, our social and website guy.
They call him Willie the Wilk.
Willie the Wilk loves cream corn.
This is as close to crack corn cane. It is. It's crack corn cane. That's what I'm call it. It's corn cane.
But he doesn't like any sort of brown liquor, so I don't know.
But you can barely taste it.
But still, I just don't know if that would since he loves cream corn that much. I don't know if it would ruin it for him.
No, I get it.
I will say, I was worried about the best day of the year not going super well this year because one, we start off with our Thanksgiving spectacular. And the two goofballs we invited in here are slandering Green Casserole.
That was tough. We haven't really like.
No, we need to ask Powers.
About
has he tried it for the first time in a long time?
Well, on Wednesday we'll make sure we'll circle back.
But it starts off with that. Then I drove down to Austin that morning, and if you remember back to Thanksgiving morning, it was quite a hellacious drive down to Austin in 35 with the storms that were happening.
It was tough.
So I was very glad that I made it safe. There were a lot of accidents on the road, so I was kind of concerned about that. And then in the midst of that drive, I get a text message from you that says, in all caps, "No Al Roker?" ?
I know.
So we started off with slandering of green bean casserole.
Tough.
Waking up in the pouring rain to try and drive down 35, and in the midst of that, when I'm waiting on a wreck to be cleared, I get a text that Al has been in the hospital. It took until about noon for me to feel like, okay, it's okay. The best day of the year is going to pull through. But there was like slight worry in my heart.
It was Dylan Dreyer who filled in on the sidelines. And look, I think she performed admirably. Mm-hmm. But like
it's just not Al.
I mean, you're coming in for. Like you're trying to take over for Tom Brady here. Yeah. I mean, it's just not going to happen. No. It's not going to work. So she did her best, and God love her. But like, it just. But
Al seems to be like he's on the mend. He had some blood clot issues.
I think he's doing better.
Good.
But they mentioned off the top, they're like, "Oh, Al, we miss you," and I'm like, "What?"
Yeah.
What am I supposed to do now?
So then I thought that I was very scared, but Thanksgiving got a lot better. Of course, the best day of the year pulled out to be good,
It
but
did.
I was concerned for a second.
No, understandable. Understandable. Anyway, we hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Hit the theme expo. Pickle! Hit the air sign. Yes, y'all. From the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Mothership here in beautiful Lewisville, Texas. It is Texas Football Today, a show online. My name's Greg Tepper. I'm going to move these microphones. I'm the managing editor of Dave Campbell's Texas Football magazine, texasfootball.com. I'm going to do it right now. A corresponding website. Thank you for spending part of your day with us. Whether you're watching us live on texasfootball.com, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch, on Twitter, all the places, or you listen to us on the podcast, which you can subscribe to on the podcast vendor of your choice. Either way, thank you for doing your part to support your local mediocre internet show. I'm sitting over there at the helm today, making us sound good. She's the Duchess of the Dork. She's Ashley Pickle.
Hi. You could have just asked me to move them since I wasn't talking, but it was nice of you for you to do it for yourself.
I was going to say, you look like you're strapped in.
I am kind of strapped in. I would have to take this thing off, which is
I've got much more mobility over here.
This is true.
So if you're somebody who watches the show sometimes, but you haven't been through this, and you've wondered, man, they're counting down till Thanksgiving. Like, what do they do now? I've got great news for you. Today's Monday, November 28th, 2022. 360 days until Thanksgiving. Happy birthday to Trey Songz.
Oh, nice.
Is that one of yours?
I like Trey Songz.
He's on the list. He's on the list.
He is on the list.
He'll be on your Spotify Wrapped, so to speak.
Very much so.
Episode 1505. On today's show, my friends, got Monday Morning Fallout. We're going to overreact to the football weekend. Then we're going to be joined by the head coach of the Sheldon C.E. King Panthers. It is Coach George Young, who has, I guess I didn't realize this because they have been such a staple of like deep playoff runs. This is the first time they've ever made the regional final.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Man, that seems wild.
They made the regional semifinals last year.
When did they start? Or when did
1950 something.
Oh, okay, so they've been around longer.
They've been around. Oh yeah, no.
Wow.
Yeah, they've always, but like I want to say, in fact, I can look this up. They've been in like the regional semifinals like 4 or 5 times,
and just have never
been able to break through. Yeah, they made the regional semifinal. They made the third round in 1989. They made the third round in 1990. Oh yeah, they made it again in 2020 and 2021. They've done it, but they've just never made it through the regional final. So we'll talk with Coach George Young, who did it in his first year there with the Panthers. Then back half the show, we are going to unveil the 25 semifinalists for the Mr. Texas Football Player of the Year Award. So we hope you will stick around for all of that. Do we have first four through the door?
We sure do. It was just Chad, Nick Morton, Tony Blaylock, and Ed McElroy. Welcome in, fellas. Also, quick side note, since we don't have any other sponsoring turkey companies, I don't feel bad saying this. They were asking what the name of our beloved...
Oh, yeah.
Our
it's the Cajun Turkey Company, CajunTurkeyCo.com. So I don't mind giving them a little bit. Yeah. I'm gonna invoice them.
We can literally go to the store and pick it up.
Yeah, it's in Lewisville.
But if you're anywhere else, they'll ship it out to you.
They'll ship it. This all started in 2019. I didn't want to make a turkey because we had kid running around. I'm like, I just gotta get a turkey. So I was like, okay, where can I get like a turkey? And then I was like, oh, well, here's a place that does like, Cajun fried turkeys. Those look good. And then I was like, well, oh, cool, they'll ship it to me. And then I looked it up. I was like, oh, wait, they're down the street.
Yeah, literally.
So, yeah, anyway, Cajun Turkey Company.
Rev it up.
Pickle? Hit the air. It's time for Monday Morning Fallout. Monday Morning Fallout, of course, when we overreact to the football weekend. Plenty to overreact to in this regional semifinal weekend. Let's start with my 3 big thoughts. Thought number 1, calm before the storm. I think overall, last week was relatively chalky in the playoffs.
Yeah.
We were finishing up scoreboard on Friday, and Saturday rather, and and Aaron kind of turned to us and asked Craig and I for some final thoughts, and what overwhelmed me was like, yeah, this felt like it went about like we thought it would. Mm-hmm. Now, certainly that's not to say we predicted every game correctly.
No.
Wichita Falls over Brownwood is probably the biggest upset of the regional semifinals. Yeah. There were some 6-man games that went a little bit cattywampus.
Erie County.
Erie County,
Shout out.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But at that point, it's not even that shocking because it's like
it's a regional final.
They've been on the
pretty good
streak, you know.
Yeah. I mean, like for example, a lot of us picked Chilton. Burton beat Chilton 7-0. Head coach Jason Hodion. Mm-hmm. But overall, I do feel like it was kind of a relatively calm weekend of Texas high school football as far as from a results perspective are concerned. I don't know that you had any real teams that we were like, oh man, that's a state championship team that didn't lose to another state championship caliber pro. Right? Carthage is an example of that. Like Carthage won, like Gilmer loses. Oh my gosh, any other year it'd be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe Gilmer's out. Well, they lost to Carthage, the number 1 team in the state.
I was just gonna say, well, and think too about how many times, like I did the post game show on Friday, but it was basically a mini scoreboard. But it's like how many
scoreboard junior.
Yeah, how many times did we say, and we'll see the rematch, and we'll see a rematch, and we'll see a rematch?
Well,
like
we'll get to that.
That's kind of like that was kind of it all shaped out how we thought it would at that point.
And it does lead to what will be a pretty hellacious regional final round.
Yeah, there's some darn good games.
It is. And so I do think this was kind of our last chance to take a breath. Like I said, it was. That's not to say we predicted everything right, but like as far as things going relatively to form, I think you're not going to find many rounds of the playoffs that go to form quite like you saw last week.
Yeah.
So, it's number 1. Thought number 2: Texan flavored title games. So it's championship week in college football, and we have 3 FBS teams playing for a conference championship.
Yeah.
Of course, with TCU. TCU we've been talking about there in the Big 12 championship. If they win, they will. Yeah. I mean, they wouldn't screw over TCU if they win. If they lose, I'm certain they're going to kick them out of the playoff.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the stakes. Like, if they win, they're going to make the playoff. There's no way they're going to keep an undefeated TCU. They have to, or else there might be riots.
Yeah, literally. Because I mean, too, you look at their strength of their schedule. It's a good schedule. Mm-hmm. Like, it's a good, and especially because all of their best wins were on the road most of the time too.
Yeah, and then you also have UTSA and North Texas playing in the Conference USA Championship game. So you've got 3, both of which are attempting to win the conference and then leave. So I would need to look this up. The last time we had 3 Texas teams in FBS conference championship games, it has to have been a minute because normally, we could have had 4 if Houston hadn't done what they did. But all that is to say that we will have a reason to pay close attention to championship week, which is not always the case around here.
When is the Big 12 championship game?
Saturday. I want to say they usually kick at 11. I haven't looked it up, but
I saw that the College Game Day crew is going down there for it.
They should.
That's pretty cool.
They should.
Shout out Matt Wilson.
It's a good first matchup between Kansas State and TCU too.
The Conference USA game is 6:30 on Friday.
Okay.
In San Antonio.
Mm-hmm. So that's why they can't play the Alamo Dome.
Yeah.
Got it. And thought number 3, we meet again. You mentioned it. That we were running through the regional semifinal
Sorry, I forgot
results.
This was one of your thoughts.
And we have, if you were wondering, we have 12 rematches in the regional finals. 12 out of their 44 games this week. 12 of them we've already seen before. Mm-hmm. North Shore and Atascocita, Vandergrift and Dripping Springs, Burleson Centennial and Aledo, Fort Bend Marshall and Port Neches Groves, Wichita Falls and Decatur, Chapel Hill and Kilgore, which we saw in week 11. Mm-hmm. So this is the second time in like 4 weeks they're playing each other. Wimberley and Lago Vista, Whitesboro and Brock, Malakoff and Grandview will play for the 8th time in the last 5 seasons. Mm-hmm. Cisco and Hawley, another week 11 game. Shiner or Furia, of course. And then we have a state semifinal that's a rematch as well. Way back in week 1, Westbrook and Happy played. Mm-hmm. And so you have these, and we saw a few of those in the regional semifinals, right? Salina and Anna was an example of that, a game we'd already seen before. And Anna, we say it's hard to beat a good team twice, but they did it. They were able to find that way. It's not impossible, most certainly. And some of these, for example, Alito beat Burleson Centennial 64-21 the first time. It would be a pretty big upset if they were to reverse that and turn a 43-point loss into a win. But Wichita Falls Decatur was an overtime game. Mm-hmm. Wimberley and Lago Vista was a 3-point game. Whitesboro and Brock came down to the final play. Grandview and Malakoff was a 4-point game.
Drip and Vandergrift was a 3-point game.
Cisco and Hawley was a 3-point game. So yeah, this is North Shore to Tuscaloosa were 3-point games. So there are at least a good number of those rematches that were within, let's say 1 or 2 plays of really changing. What happens when they meet again? We'll find out. 3 helmet stickers. A helmet sticker to Tyler Chapel Hill quarterback Demetrius Brisbane. They were down big to Lumberton at half. Mm-hmm. And they roared back, thanks in large part to Demetrius Brisbane, who threw for 233 yards and also carried the ball 11 times for 98 yards and 2 touchdowns to pace a Chapel Hill comeback. UTSA quarterback Frank Harris.
This was insane.
So, look, Frank Harris is not and should not win the Heisman Trophy. Okay, I want to be very clear about what I'm saying. He should not win the Heisman Trophy. Mm-hmm. I do not know that there is a more valuable player to their team in America
than Frank Harris. And you literally got handed that on a silver platter on Saturday. Of when he was out, they were down 30 points.
Yeah. They were down huge.
And then he came back in the game, and you look down, and the game was tied, literally in the third quarter.
Yep. Another 10-win season for UTSA. And a helmet sticker to, let me pull it up again, a Atascocita running back, Torrey Blaylock. Torrey Blaylock had an outstanding game in their big win. 26 carries, 202 yards, and 3 touchdowns rushing on the ground as they roar into the regional final to take on district rival Galena Park North Shore. 3 teams to watch. Wichita Falls, the Coyotes spring one of the biggest upsets in the regional, probably the biggest upset in the regional final.
Dub.
The computer had them had Brownwood favored by 19 points, and Wichita Falls don't care. Fantastic win for them. The defense played exceptionally well, and they are through for a rematch with Decatur in the regional final. Mary Hardin Baylor. Go back a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about kind of that triumvirate of teams, of Texas teams, between Trinity, Mary Hardin Baylor, and Hardin Simmons. Well, the first 2 rounds have come and gone, and Mary Hardin Baylor is the one who has emerged. They are the final team standing from the Division III kind of battle royale in college football at the Division III level. So all get behind the defending national champion crew. And Carthage. So Carthage beats Gilmer 28-7. Craig Way and I were on the call on this game. And let me say this. I'm pretty sure Gilmer's the second best team in 4A Division II. Mm-hmm. I came away really impressed with Gilmer, and I came away thinking that team is really good. I know Rowan Fluellen didn't play. I'm not sure it made all that much. I'm sorry. I know that Caden Tennyson didn't play until very late when it was already more or less decided. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that makes all that much of a difference because they were a running team to begin with, and Carthage was sniffing it out.
Well, and having Rowan Fluellen in the back was, 1, exceptional for their run game, and 2, there was one throw he had in particular that was like a 40-yarder down into the backside of the end zone that was spectacular.
Oh, yeah. No, that touchdown pass to Tierra Tate was a great pass.
Aaron and I were sitting in the studio, and we went, oh, my God, he's got an arm.
So I think I am right now where I sit right now, 12:15 p.m. on Monday, November 28th. I feel like Gilmer's the second best team in 4A Division II. Mm-hmm. So what does that say about the team that beat him by 3 touchdowns? 3 to C. It's going to be a theme here. North Shore and Atascocita. This game's live on Bally Sports Southwest. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say that, but it is. I already said it. It's on the air. 16-13 game the first time. How much has North Shore grown? How much has Atascocita grown? A spot in the state semifinal awaits. TCU and Kansas State, another rematch. This one, of course, with everything on the line for TCU, a possible berth in the college football playoff. And they've already had their first undefeated regular season in quite a while. They can polish that off with a Big 12 championship if they can beat a very pesky and very dangerous Kansas State team. And Shiner and Refugio, it's Shiner Refugio week again.
Never heard of that.
Coming back, this one's in San Marcos. Is this game on Texan Live?
That still left to be decided.
Okay, we're figuring out. It will be streamed somewhere. But we will be locked in on that one there in San Marcos between Shiner and Refugio. Should be a lot of fun. That's 3 to see. That's Monday Morning Fallout. We're Texas Football Today. We're here every weekday at noon on TexasFootball.com, talking football in the Lone Star State. You can follow us on Twitter at DCTF, like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, Instagram.com/Dave Campbell's, and of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. TexasFootball.com is where you can find complete coverage of high school football, college football, and recruiting all across the Lone Star State. Pickle, Dave Campbell's Texas Football has teamed up with Ozarka to honor some of the best Texas high school football teams across the state with the Ozarka Fueled by Nature Teams of the Week. Each team that's selected throughout the course of this program have exemplified the best in Texas high school football. This is the last one. We're done with this.
It is.
Your Week 14 regional semifinal Ozarka Fueled by Nature Teams of the Week. In 6A, Killeen Harker Heights, fueled by 309 combined rushing yards and 5 touchdowns from Rashawn Sanford and Amir Washington, the Knights advanced to the regional final for the first time in program history with a 63-35 win over Spring Decaney. In 5A, Abilene Wiley, the Bulldogs are back in a regional final after a thrilling 21-18 come-from-behind victory over Canutillo. In 4A, Lago Vista, only 7 weeks after losing to their district rival Geronimo Navarro by 3 touchdowns, the Vikings flipped the script when it mattered most, grinding out a 27-7 win over the Panthers in the regional semifinals. In 3A, Harmony, Boston Seahorn accounted for more than 350 total yards and 4 touchdowns as the Eagles flew into the regional final with a 38-35 upset win over West Rusk. In 2A, Cooper, the Bulldogs' dream season continues after their 33-11 win over Joaquin, advancing to the 4th round of the playoffs for the first time since 2013. In 1A, Lorraine, in low-scoring 6-man slugfest, the Bulldogs' defense stood tall, bottling up Cherokee to win Region 4 with a 24-6 win. In the private school ranks, Cypress Christian, Kyle Prazak's 6-yard interception return for a touchdown with 1:47 left in the game pushed the Warriors to a 36-32 win over San Antonio Holy Cross in the TAPS Division III state semifinal. So those are your Week 14 Ozarka Fueled by Nature Teams of the Week. Congratulations to all the schools. We salute you. For more information, visit TexasFootball.com. Now a word from our friends at VCR Now.
Born and bred in Texas hits a little different, as it should. Texas loves doing business with fellow Texans. VCR Now takes its Texas roots as seriously as its many partnerships with schools and universities around the state. It's also why we're so proud to promote our brand in the pages of the Texas Bible, Dave Campbell's Texas Football, and on the airwaves of Texas Football Today. Driven by producing quality broadcast video, state-of-the-art audio, and LED video scoreboards at affordable prices, VCR Now makes sure to listen to your needs in its athletic department before recommending the next best steps. Building great products is our business, and it's our focus on building meaningful, long-term partnerships with our clients that sets us apart. From our 24/7, 365-day help desk, the training lab in our hometown of Red Oak, or our sports marketing business plan that puts money back in the hands of our athletic departments we support, VCR Now is built to last. Reach out to us today at info@vcrnow.com or by calling 855-GO-VCR-NOW. Again, that's info@vcrnow.com or by calling 855-GO-VCR-NOW.
Pickle, let's go to the hotline. There are only 8 teams in each bracket remaining. And if you go to the 6A Division II bracket, you will see a team that has never been one of those final 8. We go down to Sheldon ISD to talk with the head coach of the regional finalist Sheldon CE King Panthers, joined by Coach George Young. Coach, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are things on campus today?
It's exciting. We're getting ready for another game here. We're still practicing, so our kids are excited about the opportunity to play a really good Katy football team.
You guys have made some history down there at King, and you did it last week with your win over Fort Bend Hightower. I want to talk a little bit about the way that game went, because you guys fell behind 14-0 there, to start the game before roaring back and getting the win. What was that once when you guys fell behind? Was there any concern at all that you guys were going to have a counterpunch?
Not really. Our kids fight hard, and we're kind of, it's got a reputation we've built. Is our kids playing hard. We just made some mistakes there early. We were sloppy. Once we got going, though, and then started playing our style of football, then kind of took over.
You're in your first year there as the head coach. You were promoted from the defensive coordinator position in the offseason. Whenever you kind of took over the role as the head coach, taking over for Coach Derek Fitzhenry, I'm interested in what your kind of message to your guys was when you addressed them as the head coach.
I was really just we were trying to move our program forward. That's the one thing. Since I came and joined Coach Fitzhenry 4 years ago, we were preaching about was taking that next step every year and getting a little better and wanting to be one of the elite programs in the state of Texas. So we just, just kept wanting to keep that momentum going and keep this program growing. And we're blessed. Our community does a great job of supporting us. Our school board, our superintendent, with the facilities. I don't know if you've been down here, but ours are second to none. And that's a tribute to the community and the support that we do have. So,
talking with George Young, the head coach of the Sheldon CE King Panthers here on Texas Football Today. Get involved in the conversation with #TF Today. Coach, you guys finished fourth in your own district, and now here you are into the regional finals. Of course, it wasn't any district. It was District 21 6A, which you are one of three teams still standing. Is it fair to say that you feel like going through District 21 6A prepared you for the grind of the playoffs?
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, it definitely does. And we were blessed, or I guess unblessed, whichever you want to say, with our non-district schedule. It was the toughest we've ever played. We ended up going up to Allen and played Crosby, who's been a powerhouse, Pearland. So we had a really rough schedule, and getting into the playoffs is, it definitely hardens you up a little bit and gets you ready to play some of these really good teams.
One of the guys who's been a real difference maker for you guys is your senior running back, Keith Willis Jr. He runs for 3 touchdowns in the win over Fort Bend Hightower this past week. He has been a real workhorse, 30 touchdowns for you guys on the year. The numbers are impressive, but as the guy who gets to see him every day in practice, what can you tell us about this young man that sets him apart?
His work ethic. He works really hard in the weight room. He works hard on the field. He wants to learn. I mean, he's just been a sponge on learning how to play running back. Somebody's going to get a steal.
Mm-hmm. No,
he's got a couple offers already, but I mean, nothing major. But he does a great job. He's physical. I mean, not just running the ball. He blocks. I mean, he cheers on his teammates. And his other guys are running the ball. He's over there cheering. He's the biggest cheerleader on the sideline. So he's great to have around.
He has been such a star for you guys. The other side of the ball, I would say, and I know you're a defensive guy first and foremost. It does seem like the defense has really hit another gear recently, and you guys have been playing particularly well. Have you been able to pinpoint exactly what has been working for you guys defensively that has you guys, going out there and shutting down some pretty high-powered offenses?
We're starting to come around. Up front we're a little dinged up right now, but we're getting healthy. On the back end, I was really proud of our secondary. This is the best game. This past game against Hightower. Hightower is some really good skill athletes, and we played, a really good football game against those guys and held them in check on the back end. So it's probably the best performance out of a secondary since I've been here in the 4 years. So I was really proud of those guys.
George Young, the head coach of CE King, join us here on the show. And, Coach, the good news for you is that the schedule lightens up considerably. 7 o'clock Friday at NRG Stadium, you guys get all you have to do is play Katy. So there's that. I know you've been working on a game plan for the Tigers. What are you guys going to be up against on Friday, and what's it going to take for you guys to get the win?
We're going to have to go in and play clean football. We can't start slow and make mistakes because they're a really well-coached football team and got a great tradition. So we just got to show up, be physical, carry the physicality of 21-6A into that game with us and get after them and see where the chips may fall.
He's George Young. He's the head coach of the CE King Panthers into the regional final for the first time in program history. Coach, we sure appreciate your time. Congratulations again on the fantastic season so far, and go get them on Friday night.
Hey, we appreciate it. Thank you.
There he goes. George Young, head coach, CE King, joining us here at Texas Football Today. Fourth place team into the regional final. It's a really impressive story. The funny thing for them. Let me make sure I'm not talking on my rear end. Yeah, I don't know if I would say that they've been. I think that really they are such a product of that district and their schedule, because you're talking about. He mentioned it. They played. Remember, if you remember. Think way back to week 1.
Yep.
Okay? Week 1, they go to Crosby, and they demolish Crosby.
Yeah, on the road. They
63-7.
Demolished. And that's when we all went, what?
Yeah. And remember, because the next week they went to Allen. And remember,
Allen had struggled.
They had gotten their doors blown off by, was it Bosco?
Bosco, yeah.
They had gotten their doors blown off, and that was the real hipster, sexy pick was like, man, is CE King going to come up here and Allen kind of swat him away. They have played an incredibly difficult schedule, and so they are battle tested. And so, look, I'm not here to tell you. I'm not here to tell you that I think that they're gonna. I think they're underdogs to Katy. I think they have to be. I think Katy's earned that. But CE King has faced down beasts before. They are not going to be intimidated by Katy, and I think that if they can go out there and throw an early punch, I think they've got a great shot. It'll be fun Friday night at NRG Stadium in Houston. So we appreciate Coach George Young, first year, doing work, impressive stuff. We're Texas Football Today. We're here every weekday at noon on TexasFootball.com, talking football in the Lone Star State. You can follow us on Twitter at DCTF, like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, Instagram.com/Dave Campbell's, and of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. TexasFootball.com is where you can find complete coverage of high school football, college football, and recruiting all across the Lone Star State. Hope you'll consider becoming a Dave Campbell's Texas Football subscriber at TexasFootball.com/subscribe. So you guys are listening to me, right?
Allegedly.
Okay. Well, I mean, let's not. We don't got to go crazy. Come on. Let me just tell you guys a little secret, okay?
Okay.
If you're looking for a gift for somebody who loves football, might I direct you to TexasFootball.com/subscribe and use the promo code DCTF10.
Oh yeah, Cyber Monday.
It is Cyber Monday.
Oh, I forgot.
So use the promo code DCTF10. Don't tell anybody I told you this. But you're going to get 10% off of subscription if you go to TexasFootball.com/DCTF or TexasFootball.com/subscribe. Use the promo code DCTF10. Let's just keep this between us. Okay? We don't got to go crazy about this. Okay? Cool? We all good?
That's cool.
Let's
the Jelly of the Month Club is the gift that keeps on giving.
Let's just be cool. And again, I just can't stress enough that if you have somebody who's difficult to buy a gift for, this is true.
Or if you have someone that doesn't like tangible things, like a lot of people don't like knickknacks and crap that's just going to clutter their house.
So I want to be very clear that I'm not getting my niece's subscription to Dave Campbell's Texas Football for her birthday.
That's where you went wrong.
But I did get her subscription to Highlights magazine.
Oh my gosh, I used to have Highlights magazine as a kid, and that was the best thing ever.
Oh yeah,
that's a solid gift.
You get mail and stuff like that. Oh no, that's a great uncle gift. This can be like that for the football person in your life. So TexasFootball.com/subscribe. Again, we're just gonna play cool. Use the promo code.
Awesome.
Use the promo code DCTF10, and we will get this thing done. Okay, be cool. Meanwhile, Pickle. Dave Campbell's Texas Football, in partnership with the Tax Act Texas Bowl, is proud to present the Mr. Texas Football Player of the Week award to the most deserving high schooler in the state of Texas, presented by our friends at Kroger. Each week, the Dave Campbell's Texas Football staff nominates 10 deserving candidates for that week's award based on the previous week's on-field performance. We then leave it up to you to vote at TexasFootball.com. Voting closes each Friday at noon, with the winner being announced shortly thereafter. Your Week 14 Mr. Texas Football Player of the Week nominees. Let's start with Kilgore running back Isaiah Ross. Ran for 203 yards and 4 touchdowns on the ground, plus had 21 yards receiving. He was unstoppable in their big win over Lindale. Wimberley quarterback Cody Stover, 14 of 17, 252 yards, 6 touchdowns rushing. or 6 touchdowns passing rather, then 48 yards and a touchdown rushing for Wimberley quarterback Cody Stover. Melissa quarterback Trevor Ham.
Nice.
309 yards, 4 touchdowns passing. He was a dude. Southlake Carroll running back Owen Allen ran for 221 yards and 4 touchdowns. Needed every bit of it against a pesky McKinney team. Another day, another dollar, another Terry Bussey performance from Timpson. 216 yards, 4 touchdowns rushing. He goes 10 of 15 for 190 yards and 2 touchdowns passing. Wichita Falls running back Cameron Gould. 162 yards and 5 touchdowns rushing to pace the Coyotes' big upset win over Brownwood. Glen Rose quarterback Hudson White. 112 yards and a touchdown passing. 209 yards and 3 touchdowns rushing as Glen Rose is through to the regional final. Fort Bend Marshall quarterback Jordan Davis was on one, my friends. He was fantastic. 20 of 21, 325 yards and 5 touchdowns passing. He ran for 115 yards and 2 touchdowns rushing. We're going to do a segment on Thursday. You don't even know about this. We're doing a segment on Thursday where we're going to revisit our predictions for each bracket.
Oh, nice.
We might be having a conversation about Jordan Davis. And finally, China Spring quarterback Cash McCollum threw for 182 yards and 3 touchdowns passing and added an interception on defense for fun. So there it is. Your Week 14 Mr. Texas Football Player of the Week nominees presented by Kroger. Vote early, vote often, vote now at TexasFootball.com. We're Texas Football today. We're here every weekday at noon on TexasFootball.com, talking football in the Lone Star State. You can follow us on Twitter at TCTF, like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, Instagram.com/Dave Campbell's, and of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. Pickle, I think we have one last thing to do.
Yeah, and it kind of ties into the last one.
Did you get what I sent you?
I sure did. It's already uploaded and ready to go.
Fantastic. Dave Campbell's Texas Football, the leading publication for all things football in the state of Texas, and the TaxAct Texas Bowl proudly announce the 25 semifinalists for the Mr. Texas Football High School Player of the Year presented by Kroger. This year, Kroger is teaming up with Mr. Texas Football as the award's presenting partner. Kroger is a longtime partner of the TaxAct Texas Bowl and a proud supporter of Texas high school football. Mr. Texas Football annually recognizes the most outstanding high school football player in the state of Texas. Each week, fans are given the chance to vote for the Player of the Week on TexasFootball.com. In December, 10 finalists will be announced, and fans can then cast their vote as to who should be named the Mr. Texas Football Player of the Year. The winner of the 2022 Mr. Texas Football Award presented by Kroger will be announced prior to the TaxAct Texas Bowl, which will be played at NRG Stadium on December 28th, 2022. This was tough. Let me be clear, and I probably shouldn't say this because I know we're going to clip this for social and stuff like this, but this process was not fun.
No.
I don't like doing this because we have to take an entire state's worth of
unbelievable athletes,
terrific players, and we have to eliminate all but 0.1% of them. Mm-hmm. But we do have our 25 semifinalists for the Mr. Texas Football Player of the Year. Dripping Springs quarterback Austin Novosad, China Spring quarterback Cash McCollum, Anna quarterback Evan Bullock, Denton Geyer quarterback Jackson Arnold, Wink quarterback Cannon Gibson, Franklin running back Bryson Washington, Shiner running back Dalton Brooks, Mineola running back Dawson Pendergrass, Mount Vernon running back Mackenzie McGill, Southlake Carroll running back Owen Allen, Killeen Harker Heights running back Rashawn Sanford, El Campo running back Reuben Owens, San Antonio Davenport running back Shaston Golden, Oakwood running back Zach Nickerson, Longview running back Taylor Tatum, Montgomery Lake Creek running back Tyvon Byers, Silsby wide receiver Draylon Miller, DeSoto wide receiver Jonte Cook, Corpus Christi Miller wide receiver Lonnie Adkism, Austin Vandergriff wide receiver Miles Coleman, South Oak Cliff defensive back Malik Muhammad, Denton Geyer defensive back Peyton Owen, Austin Westlake defensive end Colton Vasek, Galena Park North Shore athlete David Amador, and Timpson athlete Terry Bussey. There they are, the 25 semifinalists for the 2022 Mr. Texas Football Player of the Year, presented by Kroger in association with our friends at the TaxAct Texas Bowl. This was not fun. This was not fun.
And to think about the guys that were left off of it is insane.
Yeah. Oh, no.
You drop one of them in Oklahoma, and they're the best player in the state by far.
So here's what we did. I'll pull back the curtain on how we do all these things. Basically, like, I open it up to the staff. We reach out to some friends who we trust, whose high school football opinions we trust, and we come up with a big list. Okay, and we say, okay, who do you think is a reasonable semifinalist? Mm-hmm. I think we had 60 names that then we had to trim to 25. Mm-hmm. So there are 35 players who we were pretty sure were state semifinal, or rather semifinalist caliber, that we had to be like not this year. That's incredible. The depth is outrageous. We will announce the 10 finalists for the Mr. Texas Football Player of the Year coming up in December. But there you have it, the 25 semifinalists for the 2022 Mr. Texas Football Player of the Year presented by Kroger. Now let's go over to Ashley Pickle for America's second favorite segment, Final Thoughts.
And I guess a good clarification just to kind of remind people about what that award means is we're not saying that this player has like the best chance to go on and be a number 1 draft pick. We're not saying that like they are maybe even statistically speaking sometimes the best player in the state. It is literally the best player in the state in a high school football vision.
It's the best high school football player in the state.
Who contributed to their team the most, because there's a certain time, like I know we got some flack for Major Bowden last year, and it's like you take him off of China Spring, they're nowhere close to making it to a state championship. No. Yeah, that's an important clarification. This has nothing to do with recruiting. Mm-hmm. This is a high school football award. Mm-hmm. This is for the most outstanding high school football player in the state of Texas. Look, that's why, we had Major Bowden. We had, it just so happens, sometimes it comes across, like Marvin Mims. Marvin Mims is a perfect example of a guy who was unbelievable in high school. Mm-hmm. And by the way, he's been unbelievable at Oklahoma, mm-hmm. right? Kyler Murray was a 2-time Mr. Texas Football Player of the Year. Really good in high school. Mm-hmm. Obviously won a Heisman, and then went on to the next level. Johnny Manziel, same thing, right? Johnny Manziel went on to win a Heisman as well. So this is a high school football award. It is for the most outstanding high school football player in the state of Texas. It is brutal to narrow these things down for us, but trying our best. Anyway, that's going to do it for us. Thanks for spending a little bit of your day with us. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. And, of course, see us at texasfootball.com. Thanks again to CE King head coach George Young for being our guest. For Ashley Pickle, I'm Greg Tepper. Vince Young, please get your Player of the Year trophy. We'll see you tomorrow on Texas Football Today.